The sun was shining bright over the perfectly trimmed lawns of Westwood Academy, where proud families gathered to celebrate a milestone in their children's lives. Laughter echoed, cameras clicked, and parents embraced their sons and daughters draped in gowns and caps. Yet, amidst the joy and noise, one figure sat quietly in the corner, her black graduation robe folding over the wheels of her chair. She was the daughter of one of the city's most powerful CEOs, but in that moment, she was simply a young woman who felt invisible, isolated, and heartbreakingly alone. Her hands clutched her diploma tightly, but her eyes drifted downward, refusing to meet the glances of others. The stage had been conquered, the applause had been given, yet her heart felt as though it had been left behind. Friends laughed with their parents, classmates posed in circles, and hugs seemed endless all around her. But no one came to sit beside her. She had faced battles no young woman should have endured, an accident that had taken her ability to walk, whispers behind her back at school, pity that pierced her pride, and the constant absence of a father too busy with boardrooms to notice the silent tears of his only child. Graduation was supposed to be the day where all of her pain transformed into triumph, but as she sat there with the world around her celebrating, she realized that triumph felt bitter when tasted alone. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of human connection, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Kindness Corner so we can keep bringing you stories that inspire. And don't forget to leave a comment, we'd love to know your thoughts. The crowd continued to buzz with excitement, but her heart sank further. She looked down at the diploma resting on her lap, its golden seal gleaming in the sunlight, but it felt heavier than any victory should. She thought of her father, who had promised he would come but had once again chosen the demands of his empire over the fragile heart of his daughter. She wanted so badly for someone to see her, not the chair, not the accident, not the CEO's daughter, but simply her, a young woman who had survived, endured, and fought to be standing, or sitting, there on that field. It was then that fate, in its mysterious and almost poetic way, intervened. Across the rows of white chairs and clusters of families, a man stood holding the small hand of a little girl. He was dressed simply in a crisp shirt and dark trousers, nothing flashy, nothing loud. His eyes were not on the graduates in the spotlight, but on the solitary young woman in the wheelchair who seemed to shrink further into herself. At his side, his daughter tugged at his hand, her other clutching a piece of paper filled with crayon colors, a child's drawing of a rainbow. Innocence sees what the world overlooks, and the little girl had noticed the graduate sitting alone. She asked her father why no one was with her, why she looked so sad on what was supposed to be a happy day. The single dad hesitated, watching the young woman. He had not come to this graduation to make a difference, he was only there to support his niece, another graduate in the crowd. Yet something in the way the young woman sat, in the way her eyes betrayed her strength, pulled at him. Perhaps it was because he too knew what it felt like to be alone. Life had not been kind to him, he had lost his wife years ago, left to raise his little girl on his own. And in that moment, seeing someone else carry the same silent burden of loneliness, he could not simply walk away. So he stepped forward. With his daughter's small fingers curled around his, he walked toward the wheelchair where the CEO's daughter sat. She didn't notice at first, her eyes were still cast downward, her mind still locked in the echo of disappointment. But then, she heard the soft footsteps stop beside her. She lifted her gaze, surprised to see a little girl smiling at her, holding out a colorful drawing of a rainbow. Behind the child, the man gave her a gentle nod, one that carried no pity, only understanding. The moment stretched in silence, yet it was louder than all the applause in the background. For the first time that day, she felt seen. Truly seen. The little girl handed her the picture, whispering that it was for her, because rainbows always come after the storm. Her father knelt slightly, meeting the graduate's eyes, and though no words were spoken, something in his presence told her she wasn't invisible anymore. He didn't look at her as the CEO's daughter, nor as the girl in the wheelchair, he simply looked at her as a person, someone who mattered. What followed was not a grand gesture, nor some sweeping act of heroism. It was simple. The man and his daughter sat down beside her, filling the empty space that had loomed so heavily around her. They spoke quietly, shared small smiles, and let the warmth of connection heal the cracks in her heart. For once, she wasn't sitting apart from the celebration, she was part of it. Not because of who she was supposed to be, but because someone chose to be there with her. As the crowd cheered for the final names called on stage, she found herself smiling. Not the forced smile she had practiced countless times for cameras and polite conversations, but a genuine one, born from the realization that kindness often comes from the most unexpected places. In that moment, she realized she didn't need her father's approval to feel proud of herself. She didn't need the world's validation to feel worthy. All she needed was the reminder that no matter how broken life may seem, there are people out there who can help piece the world back together with small acts of compassion. Her father may have missed her graduation, but she gained something even more valuable, a reminder that family isn't always bound by blood, but by love and presence. The single dad and his daughter became more than strangers, they became a symbol of hope, a reminder that in a world that often looks past the broken, there are still hearts that stop and see. And as the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden light across the graduation field, she held the rainbow drawing close to her chest, her diploma on her lap, and a renewed strength in her soul. She had faced graduation alone, but she would leave it with the reminder that she was never truly alone at all. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends or family who might need encouragement, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more inspiring stories. Your support helps us continue spreading kindness and hope to the world. Special request, before you go, let us know in the comments what this story made you feel. Did it remind you of a moment when kindness changed your life? We'd love to hear your story too.